I'm filling all that out.
Oh.
Lot of paper.
So you're all online and ready when you're ready. Awesome. These new forms.
You don't even need this. It is ridiculous.
I guess we'll call the meeting in order. We're on, I guess we're on for video.
We're on now.
Yeah. Do we have anybody there for public comment?
No.
Okay, I figured we'd have a bunch of people with, about side by side stuff or something today, but. Need approval of the police December 5th meeting minutes. That was the right motion.
A second.
What's up for last one?
What happened?
Look like the last one.
Feels scared.
Looks like items of business is the chief's report.
Okay, for December, there was 14 reports taken. They're listed there. Nothing real big, other than one individual was surprised that Secretary of State said he issued his renewal by fraud, so we confiscated his plates. There's another one there for adulterated food. Someone is claiming that he had something put in his drink.
This is the same one as before then.
Yeah. So anyways, and then the other was driving while license revoked. So he was kind of proud of that because he hadn't been stopped in 19 years while he was driving revoked. I said, well, congratulations. Now you have a court date. So
Don't drive that.
yeah. And he had a valid passenger or a passenger in the vehicle that had a valid driver's license. So anyways. 1,067 patrol miles, 15 tickets were issued. It was the holiday season, so we cut back a little bit. 27 warnings. So there's a total of 42 traffic stops for the month. On the back, we did two-sided, one abandoned vehicle warning. Actually, it was towed, and that was towed from 219 West Grand River.
I wondered about that.
Well, the tent flew off, so now it was available. So that got towed.
I see the tent's still laying there too, so.
Right. So we'll see what happens there. We assisted with the Christmas Light Parade and Winterfest. We also participated in Shop with a Hero. DeWitt Township Fire Department, we have an in with. Every year, we're able to send 10 students from Langsburg to go shopping with a hero at Meyer there. And there's also a DeWitt school and also I think it's called Sheridan School, which is actually in DeWitt, but has a lot of the Lansing kids there. So each of the kids get $100 gift card to purchase gifts for their family and one gift for themselves. So they don't spend it all on themselves. So we did that. I then attended an online training, which was a little different, through the International Law Enforcement Training Summit. And as you can see, some of the topics there, tactical medicine for first responders. Basically, that's what happens if you get shot. Active shooter preparation, physical fitness, death benefits for first responders, and death notification of first responders, countering violent radicalization and terrorism. That was interesting. And then also what they call close quarter battle. That involves clearing rooms, specifically if you have an active shooter and you're by yourself, how to do that. Because if you don't know, our closest backup is typically 12 to 14 minutes away. And that could be coming from Perry or Clinton County or somebody, but we're kind of in our own little island down here. Then I did attend the Shaw's County Chiefs meeting. I did submit a grant to the NRA Foundation for $2,100 for ammunition. And we'll see if we get that grant or not. So if they want to give us some free money for ammunition, we'll take it. Because ammunition is a little expensive right now. Patrol car 17 for the new router and antenna, which we didn't plan on, but I think we'll be able to absorb it in my budget. That price there was just for the equipment alone. I have not received the bill for the installation. Because for the installation, they had to take out the headliner, the cage, the back seat, and the passenger side inside to reinstall that whole 9-foot cable that comes with the antenna.
That's not gonna be cheap.
No, it took them about 8.5, 9 hours. But it works great now. So I did learn, because the current ones that we have is they have a thing in there from Verizon, because that's the only tower that we can use down here basically. But that new router, Verizon has pretty much gone away with the band that router modem was on. It's still working in my car for now, but again, once we order a new car, we're gonna need a new router type thing and kind of know what the price is gonna be. So it'll be about $2,000. Which then brings us to the new patrol car. I did contact them and got a price. And the new price for exactly what we got for the 2017 patrol car increased in price by $16,790 over 5 years. So that's quite the jump.
I'm surprised it's not more than that. Just
But,
looking at
yeah.
the regular vehicles.
But that price does not include the overheads, the push bumper, the cage for the back seat, the window bars.
None
That-
of the equipment.
Yeah.
Well, we can transfer some of the equipment a little bit, like the radar.
But
But
that,
again, we're gonna
that
need new
doesn't-
computers, new stands.
so that doesn't cover the labor to transfer all that.
Well, that's true.
Right.
So
Do
that's,
we need the light bar on top? Can we have it just on the windshield? And
yeah,
We got
probably.
the Amazon ones on there.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that additional equipment is probably gonna be somewhere maybe between 12 and 17,000. Like Paul said in the budget meeting, we currently have $50,000 set aside for a new patrol car. July 1st, another 10,000 goes into that, which will help. Right now, if we order the car now, it's gonna take 30+ weeks to get the car.
question for you. Are you looking at getting another Explorer?
Yeah,
What about a car? Would it be cheaper with a, do we used to have cars down here? Just
Well-
curious.
the problem is with those is getting in and out with all this equipment we wear. And it kind of tweaks your back.
Oh, got you.
So the Ford Explorers are better than the cars. And especially since they're 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive versus the cars. And they're cheaper than the Tahoes. They do have a pickup truck out there, but I don't think a pickup truck is really the way to go because you've got that back end bed that's basically useless. You can maybe store some equipment back there, but
Put a cage in there, throw them on there like the,
yeah, well, they get the extended ones, so you can put a cage kind of in there, I would guess, but I don't think it's real practical. So the Explorer is kind of the one that would go with. They do have 3 types of Explorers, and the one here is the cheapest Explorer because they have the gas one. Well, we're getting the gas one, but the other ones are the electric and whatnot. And then, of course, you've got all the other issues.
yeah, we can't afford the electric one.
Well, and the problem with the electric one is, okay, say during the winter when it's cold, it's gonna
Yeah.
start decreasing that availability of electricity or the electrical battery. If we're on a power outage, say we get hit by a tornado, we don't have power, how are we gonna charge it? I see lots of issues.
Mm.
Then, once you start putting on overhead lights and everything else, and how much does that drain it? Yeah, I'm not a real fan of that.
I'll let you know, we're dealing with them at work. We were just starting.
Okay, so and then the other aspect too is if they catch fire. That's another big thing if those batteries become unstable. And then it starts a fire while it's parked here and nobody's here, and then burns down all City Hall.
Yeah, they won't let you park it inside. It'll be
Yeah.
outside, so.
Right, so it doesn't really help. So I guess for the new patrol cars, I was asking to see what city council would have a vote on it tonight, specifically because it's gonna be at least 30 weeks before we can get one. You know, right now, even our fire vehicles, we ordered a tanker, and that's 2 years out. We had ordered a rescue truck that was supposed to be here within a year. It's almost a year and 9 months, and it still hasn't showed up. So some of the agencies had ordered a 2022 Ford Explorer, and they didn't get them. So now they have to get a 23. So I'm hoping if we put an order in, we get one, or it might push us back. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, especially with the parts and chip shortages.
One thing's for sure, if we don't order it, we won't get it.
Well, that's true. So, you know, and we had talked about, you know, at some point, repairing the cars get a little more expensive. I just had to replace the turn signal on my car, and that was $570 because it comes as a whole unit, because it's got the turn signal, the strobe light, the headlight, all in one. So thanks to Ford engineers, you have to replace the whole thing versus just the $20 bulb. So, yeah. So far, knocking on wood, we haven't had too much repair expenses. That price also did include an extended warranty for up to 5 years, but still, and that includes everything. But again,
We found that that's really worthwhile
Mhm.
financially.
yes.
No, it is.
Yeah, to have that extended warranty. So,
When do we have to do payment up front or
well, when the car comes in, we have to pay for the car within 10 days.
so?
But like I said, I've already budgeted, so we had that $50,000 to pay for the car. The other money would come in after July 1st.
Right.
So we might have to,
Well, we do have the funds.
yeah, we do have some funds for that, so. But, so that's where we're at. I just wanted to give you a heads up on like the officers' contract, since a lot of you are new. You know, Marcy's here, on a page there, which will be this one. Gives you what, their contract, went into. And basically on your sheet there, it tells you what their hourly rate is, for their contract here, July 1st through June 30th of 2025. So we're kind of in the ballpark for Shiawassee County. But statewide, it's going to vary because a lot of agencies are starting their brand new, just out of the academy employees, anywhere from $29 to $32 an hour. But most of the officers here have been there, done that, and they still like doing it, and they still get decent pay. So we have been able to keep them.
So how many officers do we have?
Total of 6. I'm the full-time one, and then we have 5 part-time.
Do we
But
even
half the part-timer spent 6 months in Arizona.
do we even have any reserve officers left here anymore?
Yeah, we have 4 of them.
Okay,
So we have 4 reserve officers that, you know, come out on special events, or they do ride once in a while. With COVID and stuff, I told them that, you know, they didn't really need to come and ride.
right.
So, some of them do. One of our reserve officers is also a paramedic for us. So I told him I'd rather have him on the ambulance versus than riding with us and not getting paid.
Right.
So you'd probably like to get paid working at the ambulance. So he does that. So, we still have 4 of them. So our officers are basically at $19 right now, goes to 20 and then 21. So, which has helped us keep and retain them, because I think when I started here, they were making $11 an
Yeah,
hour.
that's what I was gonna say.
We've come
Yeah.
a long way.
Yeah, you know, there are. Somebody asked me about putting on another full-time officer. The problem with that is you have to pay them the 2,080 hours. Then you have to provide them benefits. You also have to offer them health care. And right now, our health care would be an additional $18,000 hit to the budget. So I think that at this stage of the game, we can still stay with the part-time officers and suffice as to what we need. The county with their road patrol has gotten better. They don't have a night shift every night, but they do have it more frequently. And they have somebody on till 3 a.m. State police, you know, they have the cars on, however, they're usually probably coming from Corona or Owasso, so it takes a minute to get here. So depending on what the call is, I'm usually available, especially if it comes across my fire pager or whatever the case may be, so. And dispatch just called me to say, you know, hey, we have a deceased body, can you take it, because all our cars are tied up? Sure. So we've done that. Then the last item to bring you up to speed is the tornado siren. And the previous council had looked into that, reference to what it would take to switch over the sirens. The first one that has a quote on it, the first page here, the 3,708 at the top. That one has all the what it would cost just for dispatch to switch over. And to set up a main tower switch, which they thought would be in Perry, because that's kind of the center of the county, they believed. So just for dispatch, to get all that done was a $53,600. They ran into a snag because that tower is actually leased, and so American Tower basically owns that tower. So nothing can go on that tower unless it runs through them. And then they would also want it leased. So, because they're paying for it. So that's one problem. The other quote there, that's also starts, well, maybe I gave you the wrong one. I gave you two. Somebody's got two. I got.
We got three.
She's got it here. It's got all the different jurisdictions.
Do you need this one?
I think that's the one.
Oh, there you are.
I think that's
You got it highlighted.
Yeah, Langsberg's cost to update our siren would be $8,327.
Ouch.
In here, some of the other jurisdictions are quite a bit more, if you look in there. Again, that was gonna be another $50,000 just for all the different municipalities.
Wasn't there too, just I guess a question, being in Shiawassee County? Don't we get all of our stuff from the Detroit?
Correct. And
So,
then Clinton County gets it from the Grand Rapids area.
so basically,
We're late,
yes, so by the time they get it here, it's already here.
right? So that was the problem. And you know, it's like the county commissioners under this ARPA funds could have funded the whole project, but they chose not to. Because they decided to refurbish again with the courthouse in Corona. So, and that is millions of dollars that's going for there. So I don't foresee this whole tornado siren thing going anywhere probably for a long time.
So I got a question about that. So how much total do we need, the $55,000? To be able to get it generally, like the whole system running?
No, it'd be over 100,000 because
100,000.
dispatch,
Oh,
because
bananas.
all the
All of them together.
municipalities, that was our price, and then
Everything else
every-
together.
and then all the different jurisdictions. And some of the jurisdictions are like, we can't afford that,
Mhm.
because like Lennon in there, Lennon's was, I think, almost $12,000, and they're like, we don't have that money. So, you know, it had been brought up by the previous councils about getting that siren up and running. I don't foresee that happening anytime soon. The only way that that gets set off is we can set it off here at the police department, but then somebody has to be here. I think we could still set it off from the fire department, but I'm not sure. So it still has the code in there, but I'm not sure. But again, most people have smartphones and everything else for the weather apps and tornadoes, and you know, those that don't, that's the way it is.
Or
And
through-
most of the time, even on the fire department, we get notified of the severe weather just because we cover Victor Township. So we get it way before Shiawassee County gets it.
Well, the other thing too is the radio. I mean, a lot of people are driving or whatnot. It'll come across, that'll come across your phone, the TV. I mean, there's several sources to.
Yeah. So I just wanted to update you guys on that. That's probably not gonna go anywhere.
Well, and the fire department, that LSW that is over, you know, all of it. They didn't want to operate it anymore. I
Right,
mean, so basically they just kind of handed it back to us.
right,
Cause they used to operate out of here, but when they moved out there, I mean. It was set off for a while and then they just decided they didn't need it anymore. Cause they used that, what's that thing, that 911?
we have active 911 on our phones.
Yeah, so they have that active 911 on their phones and they have radios, and so there wasn't a need for them. Cause they would set it off
For
to
fire.
call fire department,
Yep.
to call the fire department. And when they didn't need that anymore, then it just kind of became just ours, cause it's
Right.
on our property,
Right,
but whether we need it or not is another story.
right.
Now, is there one, there's not one out to Victor Township Hall, is there?
No,
I didn't think so.
This one, I think we got double on that one.
A lot of money for something that we get, be delayed getting here.
So you guys have any questions?
It's like you've been busy.
They're working at it, so, and like I said, we'll get with Paula coming up to kind of fine tune the police budget. It's kind of curtailed. One thing I am working on is, another grant for the body cameras. They just came out, it's called SRT, it's Small Rural and Tribal Agencies, so it's for agencies with 50 employees or less. So we don't have to try to go against the whole federal government and all the police agencies. Because that's how we didn't get the grant last time. And that's because we were in the big pool with all the big kids. And so hopefully with a smaller pool, we might be able to get that. So I'm getting prices for the new body cameras. Like everything else that's gone up, so.
You ever did fundraising for it?
No,
We should do a dunk tank.
That's what I was.
yeah, I already
thinking.
been there, done that, so. I don't think I want to do that again. Once was enough. But so we'll see how that grant closes in February. So we still have 4 of our body cameras that are working. So that's good. Even like the patrol cars, we have those cameras in there. I just looked at that. The last time in 2017, that camera in that car was like $4,000. So I'm sure it's probably jumped up in price even more. But I think it's a necessity that saves us in case there is ever a lawsuit. Because it's easier to pay up front than have to put the zeros on the end of that check at the end. You know, a prime example is, you know, Bath Township just had an officer involved shooting. It was all captured on body camera. And so it's not a he said, she said type of situation. It's all there on video. Even though the camera doesn't pick up everything, it picks up the majority of it. So I think that definitely saves us in the long run. And it's also saved us on citizens' complaints. I've had some people complain about the officers and I said, well, let me watch the in-car video along with the body camera. And it's like, oh, No, you're the one that was irate. You're the one that was flipping off the officer. And I guess they just don't see the body camera flashing red saying record when they're acting like an idiot, so. I think it does save us,
It'd be going backwards not to have them.
yeah. You know,
I think it's
and
good
the
to have them.
agencies that don't have them, like I said, they could find themselves in some deep water. All right.
So it looks like that's it. I guess adjourn the meeting.
Sure.
All right.